Welcome to our end of summer, overgrown, out of control garden. It's time to get ready for fall. Let's harvest the corn, let's harvest the sweet potatoes, and we're going to bring you along. We were given this heritage corn, and we've talked about this corn in the past, by a neighbor, and it's been in his family for generations, and so we decided we would try to grow some this year for grinding into cornmeal. Now it's the end of summer, and it's time for the fall crops to go in, but this is what the corn looks like, and it's not that bad. It looks pretty good. White dent corn starting to dry up on there. It's hard. It's ready to be picked. We had a windstorm come through here and blew most of it over, so we had to get rid of half the corn. So we just let what corn was left just do its thing, and then we would deal with it later. So we're out here dealing with it later. We'll go ahead and get this picked. Now, I'm going to go ahead and talk about other things in the garden before we get busy harvesting this corn. This bed is usually where we put our carrots, and since it was going to go all summer without carrots, hey, let's grow some sweet potatoes. As you can see, these sweet potato vines are over 20 foot long, and they've taken over this entire corner of the garden. Now, I can't wait to get row crops in the ground so that this wouldn't be an issue. But thank goodness that we have the weed fabric down, or we'd have more weeds than what we've got coming up through all this. We're going to come in here, we're going to take our snips, and we're just going to cut these vines and leave a little bit above the ground so that we know where they came in the ground at. And then we're going to get these vines out of the way and then come back and harvest the potatoes. We'll go ahead and get these out of here and get these vines to the chickens and let the chickens start having the rest of these vines to eat. There's plenty of worms in here, so I'm sure the chickens will enjoy that too. Army worms are about to decimate everything. Look at all these holes that are in our sweet potatoes. And when you say army worms, I get all these little worms, and they seem to hatch right overnight. And then you wake up 1 or 2 days with no, after a good rainstorm, and you haven't been looking out after your garden, and everything is gone. I came out and looked at one of my pepper plants, and it didn't have one single leaf on it. And I looked, and there was 3 tomato hornworms. Over the 2 solid days of rain that we got, those hornworms ate every leaf on my pepper plant. So things can get out of control real quick during a summer garden. All right, let's get busy. So pull them husks down. You know how to husk corn?
No.
Just split it right down the middle like that.
Right down the middle?
Yep. Just rip it open.
There's not a spot.
There's not a spot. You're going to just grab it and rip.
I don't understand.
Like that, yep.
Oh, okay.
No, that one didn't pollinate very well. And then you snap it right off of the end like this. Once you get it all down there, just snap it off and throw that back. Sweet taters are the place to be. Sweet taters are the life for me. All right, we're at the end of cleaning this garden out for the summer. We've got all these pea and butterbean vines and plants that are in the beds. And you've always heard that legumes fix nitrogen into the soil. What they don't tell you is that only works if you leave the roots in the ground to rot. When they decompose, then they release the nitrogen into the soil. The plants don't actively put nitrogen into the soil that's usable until the nodules on the roots release that. That's just a popular misconception that not a lot of people talk about and not a lot of people know about. We'll go ahead and get the rest of these cleaned out. We're going to take you over and show you how many sweet potatoes we've got out of the garden. And also, we planted a late crop of tomatoes, and the bugs have gotten to it, and we're going to get in here and take care of it. But we're starting to get some nice little tomatoes coming on here. So we're going to have some fall tomatoes along the way, and we're pretty excited about that. Now let's go on over and let's look at the sweet potatoes and see how many sweet potatoes we harvested out of our 5x10 raised bed. One of the things I noticed when we were digging the sweet potatoes out is everything that was on the south side of the bed where it got the most sun had the largest sweet potatoes. On the north side of the bed, we didn't produce as much. We were pulling sweet potatoes out like this that weren't fully mature yet. Now I've got another bed out there that's got sweet potatoes in it. We've not harvested because it gets a lot more shade than what these were getting. So we're going to give those at least an extra month to see if we can get some size on them. But on that south side of the bed, we were pulling large potatoes out like that. That's real nice. And we got some like this. So the majority of the potatoes you see here came off of the south side of that bed. And then we've got smaller potatoes like this that were on the north side. All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you're not already a subscriber, we invite you to hit the subscribe button. Please give us a thumbs up if you enjoyed the video and follow us along. And don't forget, keep growing, keep building, and always keep adventuring. And together, we're Flemington Famous. We'll see you next time.